back to another episode of Prep Talk Podcast. I'm your host Vartika Bhandari, and today we have one of our students with us to help you understand a little bit more about undertaking standardized tests from his personal experiences. Pranjal scored a super score of 1510 on his SAT exam, a 515 in AP Calculus BC, a 415 in Physics C Mechanics, and Computer Science. Aside from his academics, he is a lot into many extracurriculars involving sports and a lot more interesting things. So, without further ado, let's get the podcast started. Hi, Pranjal. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, let's start with the first question. What pushed you towards SAT when we know there are two standardized tests, right? ACT and SAT. So, what was that deciding factor that made you choose SAT over ACT?
Well, I have extended family living in the US. My cousins, they stay there. They're going to college over there only. So that's where I got inspired to go to college in the US. And I knew that he was taking the SAT. So since I was more aware of the SAT at that point of time, I just followed his footsteps. I remember he told me about Khan Academy and how I can prepare from there. So that's where I started my journey. And I felt that, okay, I know SAT. I know that's my extended family. My cousin has given it. Since I knew more about it than ACT, I obviously knew that ACT existed. But then since I had the more confidence, okay, he's given it, he scored well, I feel I can score well in it too. That's why I chose to give the SAT.
Okay. All right. Talking about APs, you prepared for APs as well. And some people might not understand how important APs are when it comes to applying for colleges abroad, right? So I would like you to emphasize on the fact that how important role does AP plays when it comes to applying for colleges abroad?
Okay, AP obviously are college courses, so they give you an insight as to what you're basically looking forward towards, what you're going to be doing in college. So it's a very nice warm up before college if you're applying in the US, and it basically tells you, okay, this is what you're going to do, and it basically tests you whether you are good enough to do it or not. And in case you're not, preparation, AP prep basically helps you reach that level of being good enough to stand out from your peers who may or may not be able to do as well as you can at that point of time. And it basically helps you get yourself acclimatized with the level of preparation that all the other students from the US have, because they are going to be your main competitors while applying abroad.
Right. So, since you are studying in an ICSE board, how important is AP all the more? Because I understand that IB students don't have to undertake APs because their curriculum is well known with the admission officers. How important does it become when it is when your curriculum is not well known in the colleges or the countries that you're applying to?
So basically, when I visited colleges in the US, the thing that most of them talked about was course rigor, and the only way to show that course rigor, which they look at very important in a very important sense, because to them, when they're comparing you to the students who are in their country, they need to compare to see whether you can come at that level of their university, of their college. So to show that rigor, obviously if you're ICSE or CBSE student, they don't know your board as well. So obviously they can't judge on the course rigor based off that. So to give APs, it basically gives them a sense as to, okay, this child can do well at the level that students from our country are doing. So to show that course rigor, I think APs are really important.
All right. Now, talking about setbacks, okay, we understand being a school student involves a lot of things and catering to a lot of things together. And while you're applying to abroad education, there are all the more things added to your backpack, right? There are extracurriculars, there are academics, then you talk about APs, then you talk about standardized tests, and the list goes on. So, how do you focus on time management and how did you face the setbacks? Because your teachers told me that you faced a little bit, setbacks while you were preparing for AP Calculus, and the mock test results were not something that you were expecting them out to be, but you changed the game entirely in a week. So how did that happen, and how did you manage to hold that setbacks and make it in a positive maneuver?
My major setback, I feel, was time management, because I had 3 APs going on, and at the same time, I also had my 11th second term examinations, extracurriculars that are very important for US applications. And then there are a lot of school activities that come towards the end of 11th grade. You'll be giving farewells to your seniors, you'll have all that events and stuff. So the time management bit was where I was struggling personally. I felt that I wasn't able to give time equally and as important as I could to all the APs that I was giving, that's where I was lacking mainly, because I feel at that time I was doing decent in my other two APs, but calculus was something that I wasn't faring too well in. As I kept coming closer to the APs, I sat with the Kanchavam, and then when I got my AP result, I think 1 week before the exam, I got a 1 out of 5.
Okay.
And that, I think that was the moment where I realized, okay, this is not working. I need to change something about what I'm doing. I was seeing recordings, I was seeing worksheets. That was not working well for myself. So I sat with a Kanchavam, and then we decided a schedule of about, okay, we have 7 days. Each of the 7 days, I can spend as much as time here. I that 1 week I did not go to school at all. So I used to come here, work on my calculus, mechanics as well in the same center, but I used to spend a lot of time on calculus, which really helped me because time management is where I was messing up, and also the way that I was studying. It wasn't too good because I did not have someone guiding me. Obviously, Kanchavam sat with me for a long time, almost each of those days, and I feel that's what really helped me. I think it's really important for us to realize, okay, these are my strengths and these are my weaknesses. If I'm not doing too well in something, I think we need to learn to take a step back and to realize, okay, this is not working. I need to do something else. And obviously, referring to a teacher at that point in time is really helpful because they obviously have seen more people like that.
All right. I'm so glad that things worked out for you. And keeping academics aside, how are extracurriculars working out for you? How are you focusing on extracurriculars? Because we understand that it is one of the major parts of your student resume. And what extracurriculars are you involved in, and what have you done to make sure that nobody else is doing that and your student resume standouts?
I'm a national level cricketer. Obviously, when you're applying to a degree like this, you'll obviously see people who are more inclined towards academics. So I feel that me being into sports that much and then working that with my academics is something that's really impressive for the campus officers to see. As well, I'm also really good in performing, whether it be drama or debates or MUNs. I'm big into performances. I love being on a stage. I love talking at any platform. And then at the same time, there's a lot of academic extracurriculars as well. So I recently worked on a research paper that I wrote with the HOD of Computer Science at NSUT. Okay. And I published it on the use of artificial intelligence in cricket. So it was something that I could, since I both love computer science and cricket, was something that I combined and wrote a really good research paper on it. So that was a really fun process as well. It's a really good co-curricular for me to submit as well. So that research project is done. I participate in a lot of competitions with computer science in mind. So recently a competition was held at IISM Dhanbad where it was a web development competition. I came fourth in that competition.
That's nice.
There were more competitions which I have been taking part of. Internships. I did an internship with Haryana Police Cyber Cell.
Nice.
Where I was the youngest person ever to do that internship. I did that in 9th grade, where usually people who do that are either police officers, graduate students, so students in their last couple years of college. And I made a really good bonding with our mentor, Rakshit Tandon sir, who is taking that internship. And I feel these are my main curricular activities which would help me.
That's really impressive. I think that's really impressive. Okay, so while you're preparing for all this, your ultimate goal is to go to a university in abroad. So are you focusing on UK or US? Because you mentioned you are huge on cricket, right?
Yeah.
And UK is dominant towards cricket and not US not as much. Yeah. So what are your preferences when it comes to selecting a country between UK or US?
I feel even though cricket is something that I really want to be attached to it, I think my main focus would be US because I have family over there. I think it's very important when we're going abroad, we look at that factor a lot, because even though it might seem as a very nice thing, okay, I'm going to get freedom, I'm going to be all alone, I think that sometimes you do need that support. Obviously you're in a foreign country, if you ever need help, family or extended family, anything like that is really helpful. That's why I think that's a major deciding factor as to why I'll be focusing on US. I'll obviously be applying to UK as well, because obviously I don't want to leave cricket. Then once I do get the offers, I'll obviously judge on basis of them as well.
Right. I think, cultural shock and, missing the family is one thing you only understand after you reach there. And it is not something that, you pre-decide, but it's good thing that you're keeping that into consideration. All right. So talking about your classmates, how is the competition between the classmates? You have the same goal of landing into a good university. right? So how is the competition like when it comes to academics, or probably competing between extracurriculars? A lot of people might have the same interest as you. So how do you make sure that you stand out, and how is the competition like?
It's actually a very highly competitive environment in both school and even here sometimes, because most of my classmates who do work with me here in Tutela as well, it turns out because we're always trying to one up each other, because that's the only competition we know, because we know we're all going to be applying to majorly the same universities with majorly the same course.
Right.
So we're obviously, okay, no, I'm going to be better than this guy. I need to get better marks. I need to get better extracurriculars. And then we'll obviously sit together sometime and like, okay, let's compare extracurriculars. And we'll try to one up. Like they'll start listing things, and we'll also I'll also start listing things. And it's actually a very highly competitive environment. But I feel that's also good in a way, because that actually gives you a sense as to what other people are doing. So unless you know, okay, I need to be at least at this level or above this level, then since you're not aware of what you need to do, that's like the negative aspect of it. So the competition helps, I'd say.
Good to know. Good to know. I hope all is in a healthy environment, of course. Okay. So, so all of things that you've mentioned are highly overwhelming, and I don't know. When I was a student, I was not thinking about all these things. Honestly, I was not into so many things together. But yeah, so it can get overwhelming at a point of burning out, and burnout is a real thing. Okay, I'm just saying it. It might be an unpopular opinion, but for students as well, it is a thing. It happens. You tend to lose interest in everything and everything together, and it can be a state of mind as well. So, how do you make sure that you cool off and you have time to yourself, and that you are not overwhelmed with all the process that is happening? Because you have counselor meetings, you have classes, you have school, and yeah, things goes on. So how do you make sure that you are in the right headspace to manage all of things together?
Like I mentioned before, I'm really big on cricket. Cricket is my, like, it's when I'm in my zone. It's like my time. It's like my version of me time. When I'm playing cricket, I feel everything just disappears. Each time I step into cricket nets or the cricket field, all these factors, all the tests, examinations, results, this all goes out of my mind. I'm only focusing on the game. And I feel that's really important for everyone to have that one thing. For me, it's cricket, because whenever I'm playing cricket, my 100% focus is on the game. And that really helps, because at that time, my results, my college application, all of that goes out of my mind. So I feel that's where I cool down.
That's nice. That's nice. And some of our reliable sources have told me that your mom calls you Hanuman. What is the story behind that, please?
So basically, my mom's a very religious person. She prays to all major gods in Hinduism. She prays to Hanumanji as well. What she believes in me is that if I decide as to this goal, and if I work truly towards it, there's nothing that can stop me in completing that goal. So that's why she calls me Hanuman, because she feels that once I've said something, there's no chance that anything can stop me from achieving my goal. And I think that's valid as well, because as you can see with my results, that is what happened.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you need to have that nudge to get yourself started. Right. All right. So share some of your study secrets with us, because to go from 1 out of 5 in your APs to 5 out of 5 takes a lot. People take months to go there, and it's okay. We understand it does not start at one. For most of the students, but you were doing good. Then you had your phase where you were not doing good, and then you went straight up to getting a bang on score. How did that happen? Like, how did you get into that headspace of aiming and you achieving it?
I feel this might not be something purely academic.
Okay.
But my secret would be to always maintain a really good relationship with all your teachers. Whatever subject you're doing, always make conversations with them, talk to them. Make sure that they're close to you, basically. Because unless you have that, they won't be able to understand what problem you're facing. As a teacher, they obviously have an idea of what kind of student you are. But if you have that relationship with them where they know you and you know them, they'll really be able to understand, okay, I know this child, this is the problem he's facing, I can get that he's doing this. So they'll work on you as well. Because if you have like a very nice dynamic with your teacher, they'll obviously really like to help you out in situations like I was when I was getting a 1 out of 5. A Akansharam sat with me multiple hours I think almost 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day at a stretch, and I feel that was easy for both of us to sit that long because of the dynamic that we had. And I feel that's true for all subjects you're taking. Even if you're getting good results in something, you should always try to maintain a good relationship with all your teachers, which is the case for me. For all the teachers I've had at Tutela, Vaishali ma'am, Akansha ma'am, Abhishek sir, Om sir as well, I've already had a good dynamic and a good relationship with them, which I feel is my secret.
Right. So as you mentioned that you spent 4 hour long, took 4 hour long classes, you practically lived at Tutela. So how has your entire experience been with preparing for SATs and, bagging a good score over there, and then with your AP results?
I feel it's a really friendly environment at Tutela. It's like a very homey type of space. You can get space to yourself. You can always have classes. You can be comfortable. Like compared to school, it's a very fun place to be. And it's not like I'm sat here being forced to sit here and do some worksheets. The teachers are very nice. Everyone, even the people who are not teaching you, they'll be very nice to you. They'll always help you out. And then even if sometimes you're tired, you just need that space to yourself, you can always get that at Tutela.
Yeah, you can get that on the floors near a teacher's desk. Yeah.
Plus, there's always the location factor, right? Supermart's a very good place. Always, like, if I'm here, like, I was here from 11 to 8 for almost weeks.
Yeah.
I used to go down, used to have walks, have lunch at KFC, which is a student favorite spot.
Yeah.
So just the fact that I could go, have a walk anytime, come back, resume my classes, keep doing my work, just have that sort of factor, okay, I'm not being forced to keep it. It's a very friendly, I enjoy being at Tutela here. I think that's what allowed me to practically live at Tutela.
Right.
Or end up sleeping on the floors of Tutela as well.
Right. All right. It has been so nice having you here. And thank you so much for doing this podcast. It has been very interesting. And for all the listeners, I hope you took a lot of things out of what Pranjal said. And I agree with most of them. Yeah, almost all of them. So, thank you, Pranjal, for being here.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned. Don't forget to share with your friends who are in the same journey. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.